It's okay.
I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It's a edition of the Daily Punch Up here on Friday, June 20th. Welcome in, kiddos, to one and all. Thank you for watching, listening, both the live and podcast versions. Thank you if you're watching live. As always, we're on Twitter and YouTube and the Puck Sports mobile app. Download the Puck Sports mobile app today to your iPhone or your Android phone from the Google Play Store. And then if you're watching the show later, or if you miss any of the show, we put everything up there on YouTube. Just search Puck Sports, also on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. You can follow me on all the social media channels at Puck Sports, Puck_sports there on TikTok, by the way. And find everything, including signing up to be a Puck's Posse member, where you get everything for just $5 a month at pucksports.com. We're broadcasting live from the Limbeck Lumber Studios. Contractors, they're going to do it for you. They offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. They're going to take care of you. They've got old school service. They've been doing it with a smile and a handshake and paper trails since 1930. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them at limbecklumber.com. Thank you, Indiana Pacers. We'll get to that today. Tubby Tellez is out. A surprise visit from Mike Garafolo on a Friday because Chris Egan told us to pound sand. The scout is back. Another edition of our anonymous baseball scout who joins us every single Friday. And, of course, we wrap up every Friday show with, or every show in general with, Hey, What the Puck. Ladies and gentlemen, after ditching us on Wednesday, he is back. He's in the he shed from Bend, Oregon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the go-to guy, James Moore, all brought to you by.
Hey, Puck, it's good to be back. I'm brought to you by a Clean Streak professional window and exterior cleaning service out of Oak Harbor, Washington. Up there on Whidbey Island, they're proudly serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years. Give them a call. Brian Turner and his capable crew, they're so good at what they do. They'll clean your roof, they'll unclog your gutters, pressure wash your driveway, your patio, whatever you want pressure washed. He'll do it for you. So give him a call right now, 360-395-5748. You can get a free estimate, and you can also go to acleanstreak.com. That's acleanstreak.com. Why are you always laughing at me? Why?
I'm not laughing at you.
Why are you always laughing at me? Yeah, you are.
I'm laughing because you're here.
Do I have eggs in my teeth at all?
I don't see eggs in your teeth. Do you get eggs normally stuck in your teeth? That doesn't seem like a food that you would get stuck in your teeth. Would be eggs.
Well, I don't know. The white egg combination with feta cheese. Trying to be healthy.
Yeah,
I went to the periodontist. You know how much those implants cost? Like I have a missing tooth over here.
Yeah,
and
$5,000.
Yeah. It was $4,500. Yeah, she showed me. When I was there for a cleaning this week, I was up in Seattle and enjoyed the heck out of it. It was fun to be back home.
Yeah. How was the traffic? Did you miss that?
God,
did you enjoy the traffic?
Oh man, I went back and forth from Northgate to Columbia City to Kirkland to Bellevue to Burien. Yeah, I saw it all. Brake lights everywhere you went for as far as the eye could see.
Good times, wasn't it, huh? Hey, thanks for stopping by.
I allowed for it, though. The weather was great. Went to a Mariner game. I went to the one where they won 8-0.
Hey, thanks for stopping by and reaching out.
Well, I'm going to go to Ballard? What
you were in Northgate and Burien. You didn't even bother to stop on by.
Northgate to Ballard as the crow flies. What is it, 2 or 3 miles? It would have taken me an hour and a half.
You're an asshole.
To get to your place.
You're a bad friend.
I'm not a bad friend. I'm not a bad friend at all. I'm a really good friend. I'm a good friend to have.
A good friend would have stopped by.
A good friend would have stopped by. Yeah, I guess I'm an okay friend. Yeah. God, I was just busy. I had doctor's appointments and people to see, and saw my granddaughter yesterday, and damn, it was good to see her. But man, she was screaming when I left. And it wasn't because she was like, oh God, Papa Jim's leaving, I'm so sad. No, she was just screaming because the Red Robin balloon got away from her in the car. And
Man, I haven't been to a Red Robin in years.
Oh, the bottomless fries.
Bottomless fries, the best.
Yeah. Hey,
Nothing
where do you
better.
get off? Where do you get off calling Rowdy Tubby Tellez anyway? You just think that sounds good, alliterative, with the two T's together.
You want to try that again?
Tubby Tellez. No.
You want to try saying that again?
No,
it's
I
my
can't
wife.
talk. That's part of the reason I was fired twice. You know that.
It's my wife's. That's what my wife calls him, Tubby Tellez.
Tubby Tellez.
See, because she's like, well, because she sees him and then she looks at me and goes, well, I live with him, so it's the same guy. So
yeah.
River thinks that's funny.
No, that's actually Hank.
Who the hell's Hank? You get another dog?
Well, Hank's the neighbor dog. It's a golden doodle.
Oh, no, yeah, sure.
You see Hank?
Why is Hank over here? Just Hank's hanging out?
I've got 3 dogs with me today. Yeah, Hank's hanging out for I don't know, a week, I guess.
Okay.
Not my idea. Not my
Didn't
idea.
Sign up for it.
I came home to 3 dogs last night at 12:30.
Well, you've really made it there, that neighborhood. You've gone from people writing notes on the car that you're an idiot for parking on this side. Your dogs are barking all the time. Now you got neighbors dropping their dogs off. You've made a turnaround, man. Good for you.
Yeah. No, Hank's cool. I think golden doodles are kind of neat. I mean, I would never get a poodle, but I would think about a golden doodle. So, yeah, things are good down here, Puck. It's good to be back, but I did enjoy being back in Seattle.
All right.
Yeah, saw my mom. I saw a lot of people, but I didn't see you.
Yeah, just that. Yeah. I feel bad. I feel slighted. That's okay. And I know where I stand with you. That's fine. Yeah,
I know where I stand with you, too.
It's really kind of obvious where I'm at there on the totem pole.
Yeah, so. God. Now you're making me feel bad because you quit your job in support of me.
Yeah.
And I don't even stop by to see you.
No, just not even.
You're always so busy though. You're taping with somebody and you probably walk down the street and you look at your neighbors and go, you could sign up for Puck's Posse for $5 a month and you get all this extra content and
all I've done for
I'm
you.
Sponsored by Limback Lumber and I know a belated Father's Day gift would be, go to Synthetic Turf Northwest and
hey. You can still, and it's a great summer gift, too, for your father. Synthetic Turf Northwest. It's perfect for the summertime.
I don't know why I'm so amused by that, because I really appreciate that they're sponsoring your show. But
I was out cleaning the backyard yesterday afternoon, and I realized that it took me only like 25 minutes to pick all the weeds and kind of clean things up in my backyard. And it would have taken me 45 minutes if I had to mow that lawn. But I don't have to mow that lawn anymore, Jim. You want to know why? Why? Because of Synthetic Turf Northwest and syntheticturfnorthwest.com. Thank you.
Is there any way you can work Limback Lumber into that too? Or
well, I have been enjoying also when I was back there picking the weeds and picking up. Oh, and I've got Rainier cherries. Oh, they're everywhere. It's beautiful. I was admiring my brand new fence that I have back there that we built last year, and all thanks to the lumber from, you guessed it, Limback Lumber. See, when I buy my lumber, and my lumber needs to build a new fence, I go local, and I go with a company I trust and support that's been around for almost 100 years, and that's Limback Lumber. Let me give you that phone number real quick, friends, 206-782-3487. Limback Lumber, limbacklumber.com.
Okay, let me tell you one thing seriously speaking, that I really appreciate about Limback Lumber, and I've heard it in your ads before. They're old school. Don't they still use paper and they don't really do.
They have a paper trail. Nothing is on a computer. Like
I love that.
You go in there and they've got, remember the old Dewey Decimal System, remember you're pulling out I
do remember that.
The shelves, not the shelves, but the drawers, right? With all that info, that's what they have. And they've got receipts from every customer that walked through there.
I love that.
Yeah.
They probably have trouble getting online and getting the Root Sports stream, and just like me. Hey, they're just like me. They're just
like me. It's a terrible app. Yeah, Tubby Tellez is out. But first, before we get to Tubby Tellez, hey, thanks to the Pacers, Game 7, they forced it. I didn't think they had a shot.
I heard you talking about that. Like,
I thought it was over.
You wrote them off, but the game was in Indiana.
I did. I thought there was no way they were going to win. I thought Halliburton wasn't going to play, and even if he did play, he wasn't going to do anything. But, God, they not only won, they beat the crap out of them. They annihilated. They're up by 30 going to the fourth quarter. It was a laughing stock, and now they force a game 7. I want if the Dipsticks were going to win, I wanted them to win there so they could celebrate on their court, not Sunday night on their court. But they forced a game 7. Hey, we don't know. Let's put a curse. We need a curse. Who can we send out to Oklahoma City, like in Sonics gear? We need one of those, like someone to sit courtside with a bunch of Sonics gear on. We pay for somebody to do that. We just need.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we need somebody like a sitting front row with Sonics shirts on and jerseys and
George Karl, Spencer Hawes,
just anybody. Yeah, Spencer Hawes, Detlef, people that can afford it. Not you and me. We can't afford it. We're poor.
God, I love Detlef. I absolutely. Yeah. I thought about Detlef the other day.
Why? Why did Detlef come up for you? Okay, I'm concerned, but also intrigued and looking.
I will. Okay, I'll be honest because there've been so many years that have passed since this happened. But there was a night in San Antonio. When I think it was San Antonio, he and I happened to be in the same strip club.
Yeah,
and I remember sitting there at the bar.
Did you go together, or you just saw him in there?
We did go together.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those rare nights where I hung out with a couple of players.
Okay,
that didn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting there at the bar and thinking, Jesus, Jim, why don't you get a table dance? And I thought, yeah, okay. I was talking to myself at the time. And then I thought, God, I'm a reporter who makes, I think at the time, $60,000 a year. And there's Detlef sitting over there and however many millions he makes. And I thought, God, I'm going to go ask him for some money. So, which is really, when you're a reporter, you shouldn't be doing this. But I thought, nobody will know. So I went over and I go, hey, Det, got any money so I could get some table dances? And he gave me $100. It was awesome.
Okay, wonderful. That's a great story. We got to get Detlef on to tell that story.
He probably wouldn't remember it. No, he was such a great guy.
How about Detlef? We get Detlef to go to the game on Sunday, and he can have like a split jersey, the Pacers and the Sonics one, right? Because
that's right.
Both. Yeah,
that's right. He did. Yeah, they were. Remember that? I think it was the same year, wasn't it? When they took the X-Man instead of Detlef Schrempf. I think that
was the same year that they were drafted. They took X out of Wichita State over Detlef out of UW.
Yeah, I remember. There was some debate over that, and I think you couldn't have gone wrong either way with that deal there.
Be really good players. Detlef probably was a better player, but
yeah,
I don't know. Not by that.
God, Xavier McDaniel though.
This man was
he was solid. Remember that picture of him like choking that Laker? There's a Laker.
Was it a Laker or was it a Knick?
Was it a Knick? But you can he's choking the guy there at the scorer's table, and the guy's eyes are bugging out like Polanco.
Yeah. Polanco. Hey, we got to get to Tubby Tellez, but he's sitting poolside. He's like, hey, he's got to get off. He wasn't on the show yesterday. So he's back on the show today.
So what? Okay, do you think Tubby Tellez calls you Paunchy Puck?
Yeah, probably. He's Tubby Tellez. Rowdy Tellez would admit
they shouldn't have cut Rowdy Tellez. Okay,
well, hold that thought.
Because when you're a fat guy like that, you should be a cult hero.
Okay,
get extra slack.
He can still be a cool. Is that Hank? Which dog is that?
No, hey, stop, Hank, stop it.
Hey, Hank, yeah. Hank. Whoa, hey, whoa, hey, Mike Garafolo.
Hey, I'm in
the NFL Network. How
Listen,
are you,
I got some problems connecting with my earbuds. You're killing time. Next thing I know, Jim's talking about table dances and dogs are barking. And
you ever take money from a player, Mike, for a table dance before?
Jim, there are some questions that I'm just not going to answer. How about that?
So
that was a fun night. Greg Anthony was sitting there while I was getting my table dance, and I'm looking at him going, "Hey, man, get your own damn table dance."
So Greg Anthony was trying to ride shotgun on your dance?
Yeah, he was. I remember just sitting there looking at him going, what the hell are you doing? Get your own.
Yeah. And you got NBA money.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
that was a fun night, though. That was so much fun.
A breach of etiquette.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mike, you're younger. You're younger than us. You're younger than Jim. Like back in the day, players and reporters, they hung out. They don't. That just doesn't happen anymore.
No. I meant it was a breach of etiquette that someone was jumping in on Jim's dance. Yeah. I didn't mean.
Well, I know it was a breach of etiquette to take money from a player to have a table dance.
No. I'm not judging that. No, I'm just saying it's a breach of etiquette that when one man is having whatever. You were in the right, Jim.
Thanks, Mike.
Did you ever but football? You never. Basketball and baseball, kind of the two sports where like back in the day where like reporters and athletes would kind of merge a little bit, right? They would fraternize. Football, it never feels like football is ever one of those fraternizing.
No, I mean when the team would go away to Albany,
the Giants
would. Yeah, when the Giants would go to Albany and I would cover the team, we'd be up there for a month. We would come back. The third preseason game is when they would break camp. So there would be between the second and the third game, depending on whether it was home or away, you would come back for like 2 days and then go back home. And then the third game was played because the third game was at Giant Stadium no matter what. It was either a home game for the Giants or the Jets. So you would get to that point. So we were up there for a long time. And there's not a lot to do up in Albany. And yeah, we would intermingle a little bit. As a matter of fact, back in my single days, in case my wife hears this, back in my single days, one of the other scribes, I won't name names, but he took me out. He says, let's go out. There's a place called De Carlo's. It's a nice Italian restaurant. There was no food being served, if you catch my drift. And we see a player. I won't name the player, but we see a player. He's a rookie at the time. And he just like ghost, like a deer in the headlights. We're like, what's up, man? How you doing? And he was just like, oh, my God, am I in? And the next day we see him at campus going to lunch. He's like, look, man, it's just I just needed to get away and get. I'm like, I almost said his name. Relax, man. It's fine. It's all good. I mean, like he thought I was gonna like make it a story or whatever. And he was gonna be, you're good, man. Even if I did, you didn't do anything wrong. It was after hours. It's not, you didn't miss curfew. By the way, hi, Jim. Haven't seen you. This is the first time that I've been on Puck 2.0 and Jim has been here. So this is very exciting for me.
Oh, well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. You look like you're enjoying wherever you are right now.
I had the world's worst travel day yesterday. So I was coming back from San Francisco. It was a work-related event, not a work assignment, but a work-related event. I was coming back, and there was a 6 a.m. and a 9 a.m. And I said, let me take the 7. That's like not too early, but also the 9 a.m. got in too late. And I picked the wrong one because the 6 a.m. got in before the storms. We circled around Pennsylvania a couple times. They finally flew us up to Syracuse. We were on the runway for 5 hours because the plane was too big for the gates there. And they did send the stairs out at one point and said, if you want to get off, but you can't get back on. And I'm like, well, that means I'm driving from Syracuse back to Jersey. I'm doing the math on that. I was like, nah, I'm going to wait this one out, which actually was the smart thing to do. The problem was they said they were going to send the stairs out again at 7 o'clock just to get all of us off, and it started pouring rain there. So they couldn't get the stairs out because people might slip. It was a liability. So I left my hotel room in Santa Clara. Where was I? Palo Alto. First time I've been on the Stanford campus, by the way. My God. You walk on that campus, you'll never go anywhere else, provided you get in. And I left my hotel room at 4:30 a.m. We landed Pacific time. We landed 9:30 p.m. Eastern time here in Jersey. So that was the day for me yesterday. So sorry I couldn't make it.
No, you're good. You're good. Look, yeah, you are really living the life. I mean, you're in the lounge.
I deserve this day.
We got boats in the background.
Is that your backyard or what's going on?
That is, yes. This is our shore house, and please don't
look
judge
at that. Yachts are going by in the background. You don't want to.
Dude, there's some. Bro, there are some boats. That's not a yacht. That's just I don't know what you call that one. But there are some legitimate yachts that come through here, and I'm like, who? Like, if you had that kind of money, why is that boat not in Florida or the Bahamas? Like, why is it coming through a canal in Jersey? But they come through here, man.
Are you jumping in that water? Is that water safe to swim?
No, the current. So this is the main canal right here, which has all the boat traffic because it's from the bay leading back to the ocean. There are canals over this way that are kind of like so you can't if you jump in here you're gonna get a fine. You also can't even take jet skis canoes, anything other than a boat you can't take in here because the current is just too strong in here. But you go down there, if you go all the way down, that's Bay Head all the way down there.
Okay.
If you go down there, you can kayak and do everything once you get into the open bay there. So.
But you have a pool right there in front of you?
We got a pool right here. Carmen and Vivian are chilling here on the pool.
Look at that.
Yeah. Got the outdoor.
Reporters back in my day, we couldn't afford something like that. What the hell are they paying you?
Listen, man. Let's just say I made the right choice by going to the right bar back in 2006 and meeting the right lady. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that helped. Okay, all right.
Yeah, well,
big time. Here comes Viv. I'm talking to Puck and Jim.
Is that Carmen?
That's Vivian.
Vivian.
Slap on the head. Wondering why Dad can't stop working.
Vivian's my short yardage back. You know, Carmen's my. Carmen will catch some passes out of the backfield, but Vivian's a bull in a china shop. All right, enough.
Oh no, bring her back.
No, you don't want. How too much of that.
When do you run out of like, hey, summer breaks here, it's good to be around the family, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay.
Carmen. Oh, I'm already there. I'm already there because like we got Carmen into one of the best camps in Jersey last year, and she absolutely positively hated it. And it was like pulling teeth to get her there every day. The other kids were loving it. She hated the bus ride. So I said, I'll drive you one day. I'll drive. It was like an hour 15 one way. I will drive you to eliminate your bus. And she still was like, I don't like the lunch, you know. So they're on top of us this year, and we got to figure something out.
Do your kids think it's cool that Dad's on TV?
No, I think they just think it's like a thing that. No, stop. I think they just think that it's like a just something that they grew up with, and it's like, all right, cool, yeah, whatever. Where is he? He needs to jump in the pool with me and play with, you know. They just want the dad to do whatever, you know.
I don't even.
They do think it's cool that I talk to Puck and Jim though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, they love it.
My kids are like my daughter. She always says, you know, hey, do you listen to your dad on the radio? And she's like, no, I hear enough from him at home. You know, she's not.
Yeah, right.
She's not interested in hearing anything I have to say about the Mariners or the Seahawks. I know that.
No, and they you know they won't watch a game with me. Although they did the Nickelodeon game this year. They were watching that. They were watching that for weeks on end. As a matter of fact, Vivian asked me for it. Just randomly out of the blue, was like, you know, Dad, we haven't watched the Nickelodeon football game in a while. I said, okay, I'll go drum it up for. So that was genius for whoever came up with that idea because they got the kids to watch the game there. So
there is like literally nothing going on. This is like the downtime in the NFL, but I was just looking at like a month from now, training camp starts.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're gonna be there.
That's unbelievable. It's just there really is like no break for not only just all the teams and the players, but even you guys. I mean, it's right around the corner.
That's why when you get a day like this, you got to enjoy it. And I will. So August has become a shockingly quiet month because they're minimizing the preseason, and they're going to minimize it even more when they go to 18 and drop it down to 2 preseason games. And then for our network, we run all the preseason games, so there's no programming outside. Once Thursday comes, it's like Thursday for. And now I'll do. And thankfully, I have a camera here now. So if you see, sometimes I'm in a different location. That'll be this one here. So I can do everything from here. So I could legitimately be sitting here middle of the first quarter, and it's like, oh, you got a halftime hit coming up, and I'll just kind of look, okay, we got 7 minutes left. Let me go get dressed and just walk in there, and then just come right back out here. So if you don't take it, because once September rolls around, like that's it, right? Once week one kicks off, it's not slowing down until we're through the draft. So that's kind of the way I've been approaching it. So August is a sleeper. Get some beers in month for me.
Yeah, good. Jim, you have any NFL questions?
I've got NFL questions. I've got all kinds of questions. Who has a better season? Who has a better season this year, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers?
Whew.
See, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. That's a really, really good one. Because the bar for Russ is like if they both get to 8 and 9, you're going to say that was a better season for Russ, right? And I do it. I know quarterbacks or wins aren't a quarterback stat to a lot of people, but that's the way I would approach it. I'm going to go Russ. I'm going to go Russ. Ooh. You know, I just think there's a lot of assumption on Pittsburgh's part that like he's going to show up and he and Arthur Smith are going to click. He's not going to have his guys around him like he wanted with the Jets. And that, you know, the last 2 years, I guess, were due to injury. which there is a little bit of that. But I just think it might just be done. I just think it might be over. Like, we're never going to see that. We saw spurts of it last year, and I know talking to people at the Jets, after week 1 when they got spanked by the Niners, they were confident because the last drive that he was in there, he went right down the field. It's like, there it is. It's coming. It's clicking. And it just never really consistently came. The Broncos game was horrible, and I know he was banged up in that. It was raining. It was, I think, a little bit chilly. I haven't seen that consistency. So I just think, with Russ, Neighbors, they've got some backs that they can work with there. They like their other wide receivers, the tight end, Theo Johnson. Like, there's something. The offensive line should be better. There's something to work with there. And they needed, when they brought him in and he just started talking, it was like, there's a sense of swag that they didn't have with Daniel Jones. They thought last year that when they were out looking at rookie quarterbacks, and he actually did say he was perturbed by that. It's like, okay, cool. Now dig in and make this your job. Make us not go out and scout. And he just never did it. He didn't have that bone in his body. And Russ does. I don't know, how much he's got left in him. But I would go. That's a long answer. Me saying I'll go Russ over Rodgers.
I love that quote from Myles Garrett that you tweeted out about Aaron Rodgers joining the AFC North. It's a good opportunity to put him in the graveyard. That's awesome.
Well, he's got his Halloween graveyard where he puts headstones of every quarterback he's ever sacked. So I don't know, maybe he hasn't gotten them. And he's like, there's a good opportunity now to put him in the graveyard. So
all right.
I think a lot of people thought, like,
career-wise.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think a lot of people thought, like, I'm going to kill the guy. I think he just legitimately was saying, I'm going to put him in my Halloween graveyard. But either way, it's on. Looking forward to that.
Hey, Jim, run your bet, your idea of Milroe to Mike.
Oh, I forget what the bet was exactly. I wish I'd bet more than $50 on this, though, Mike. Buck doesn't think that Milroe's going to play at all this year. And I mean, that comment that McDonald made about Darnold taking more than 90% of the snaps, that left some wiggle room, I think, for Milroe to come in, red zone opportunities, or maybe even, I was thinking, like, maybe they'll do it like a college thing where they'll give him a series in the second quarter.
Well, hold on. So you guys did make this bet.
We did. Here's the bet. I think the bet was I don't think he's going to take a snap between the 30s. Jim thinks he will. Does that make sense? Now I'm gonna lose the bet now because I didn't think of the 4th and 1.
Yeah, you blew it.
I know.
Even beyond that, I think they're just So Jim, what are you gonna do with your $50?
I don't know, but what do you think? So they bring in Drew Lock, though. So they either think that Milroe is going to be terrific, or they think he's not good enough to even be the backup.
He is. I hate to make because so many comparisons have been made, and I think he's a different guy. And I think Jalen Hurts actually was more prepared to be a quarterback in the NFL when he came in. But I'm going to make the comparison because the Eagles drafted Hurts and said, we're going to get this guy as part of these packages, and then from there, we'll see. We'll develop. Like I think they've never really explicitly said this to me, but the plan was draft him for a 2, flip him for a 1, and then Wentz just kind of went into a tailspin, and he wound up being their franchise quarterback and was ready for the challenge. So, it's good. It's good planning to have these things in the hopper, even if it's not the way that you intended it. I think it's sort of similar with Milroe. I think it's get his feet wet, see how much he can handle, see how much you can throw at him, try to expand upon it, and then see what you got down the line. And if you got something where, and I've said this, if he just for the next 4 years is a package player for them, it's a good second-round pick. I love it. I think it's a great pick.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your sunny afternoon there at the Shore House. Don't get in too much trouble. Jump in the pool with the kids. Have a blast. Thanks for doing it.
I'm going right. Is it too early for a beer?
No, it's 1:30 where you're at. No, even if it was 10:30, it's never too early. You're on break.
Then, is it too early for 10 beers? I guess is the question.
No. You can go 10. Go 10. Thanks, Mike.
It's great seeing you.
Hey, great
Jim.
to see you, Mike.
Yeah. By the way, did you give your guys from Zogs on Fox Island a shout out? I don't think you did the.
I didn't even do the read.
Hartley and Hartley.
Yeah. Hartley. Yeah. Mike is brought to you by Hartley and Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. Honesty, fairness, integrity. Contact Jamie Hartley when he's not playing golf. 253-565-8700. Also, Zogs on Fox Island. Perfect spot to grab a cold beer or 10, hang out with friends, catch the game. Check out Zogs on Facebook and Instagram for their hours there in the summer.
I got to finalize my training camp schedule so we can make it with Hartley and Hartley, with Jamie. At Zogs, just bring everything together. Go to Zogs on Fox Island for 1 or 10 beers. How about that?
Yeah. You're the best. You're the best of the family.
Carmen, say bye. Where are you? Carmen, say bye.
Bye, Carmen. All right.
See you, Mike.
See you guys.
See you, Mike.
What a that NFL Network money, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, sounds like maybe good. The wife. It sounds like the wife, huh? He kind of married into it, huh? Good for Mike. Good for Garafolo. Jesus.
He probably NFL Network probably pays pretty well, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice, relaxing little shore house backyard. It is crazy where you kind of have hit, this lull here of the NFL. Great question, though. Russell or Aaron Rodgers? That's a good one. I hope Aaron Rodgers falls flat on his face. I'm sick and tired of Aaron Rodgers. Just all of it. The whole flipping storyline. Just shut up and go away.
Well, yeah, you know why I still stick up for him, though, is because he was nice to me once. That's all it takes. If you're nice to me one time, you're my friend for life.
Well, I was nice to you, and apparently I'm not your friend because you can't stop on by and say hello.
I'm coming by. I'm going to be up there 3 or 4 times in July, and I'll make sure that I stop by there.
What are the exact?
I'll allow a full day to get to Ballard, and then another full day to leave. Yeah,
it's going to take you more than a full day.
What's it take to get to I-5 from your house on a typical day? How many minutes?
Hour and 15 minutes.
No, like 20, maybe 15 or 20.
I'd said 20 minutes.
20 minutes to get to I-5.
It's probably 2 miles.
And to get to I-5, what is it? It's not even a mile, is it, from your house? If you flew
2 miles, probably 2 miles.
Oh, 2 miles.
A couple miles. Okay. Yeah, maybe a little further.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you make sacrifices for people that you like, so.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, and I wasn't even here when you came to Bend.
No, you left. Yeah, and I told you months prior. Hey, we're coming down Memorial Day, and then you couldn't wait to get out of there to go to a Mormon wedding, but that was fun.
Well, there were 2 other friends that I saw that were a little higher on the priority ladder than you were.
Yeah, well, it feels really good, real comforting. Yeah, Tubby Tellez is out. If you don't know, Tubby Tellez is out. He's been DFA'd. For Luke Raley.
Are you with it? Should we just complain about it since that's what you do in podcasts and sports radio world?
Just complain. I thought we had Brad on yesterday for his weekly appearance, and we both agreed we thought it'd be Canzone. But okay. Tellez is a better first baseman than Luke Raley.
Yeah, Tellez has been pretty smooth over there, especially given his size. I feel honored, though, that I was at the game when he stole the base. Yeah, he kind of rumbled it. He got a great jump on that. Just a terrific jump. Yeah. I mean, of course, no one in baseball thinks about looking over and holding Rowdy Tellez.
Tubby Tellez.
Okay, Tubby. Well, okay. I hope he clears waivers and ends up in Tacoma and comes back. How often is a guy, really, seriously, how often has a guy been DFA'd that has 11 home runs on June 20th?
Probably
not very often.
Yeah, I don't know. Their first base situation is just a mess. It's just an absolute. I mean, the fact that they got a lineup today that has Donovan Solano playing first and Garver DHing.
And then Dylan Moore following that up.
It's just the
awful. Love affair with Dylan Moore.
Oh,
I know he's a good-looking guy and is versatile, and we just tend to love him so much. But good God, you could have made a case for DFAing him, couldn't you? And then, Mastroboni, I don't get the whole Mastroboni thing. And I know that he's another try-hard, get my jersey dirty kind of guy. But he sucks, man. He's not that good. Is he?
The Dylan Moore thing is just, it's remarkable. Like the other day when they hit him leadoff, and I'm like, what are they doing?
Well, especially in light of his his recent stretch
Yeah,
where
well,
he struck out like 12 times and 18 at bats or something.
well, he hadn't had a hit in June, so that's one. His past 32 games prior to that, he struck out 35 times and had 7 walks.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like, but this is what they are. They've just got to, he's a nice, okay utility player, but they play him all the time in just these situations. And I still don't understand. Well, obviously, hold on. I want to see something real quick because I peeked at it. Now I want to make sure I see the lineup again. Where'd the lineup go? Where is the lineup?
well, 5, 6, 7 is a black hole.
Oh,
with
it's just
with Garver, Solano, and more.
What I don't understand about the other day. So Crawford's back in the lineup because I was curious if something had happened to JP. Why they're giving him a day off? When they had
especially
a day
when
off.
he's been as hot as he's been, and then I heard you saying that when you have Thursday as an off day.
That makes zero
and
sense.
It's a day game. You played Wednesday, so you've got from 4:00 on Wednesday afternoon until 11:20 Pacific time for the next game on Friday. 2 days later.
All you got to tell me is about how serious you were in the offseason about really building a contender when you've got the 5, 6, 7 Garver Solano Moore combo or triplet.
Yeah. I know that they have all the stats they could show me with the splits and how so they put Garver in today simply because Matthew Boyd is a lefty. And so we got that lefty righty thing going for us. Well, shit, Matthew Boyd, I think he's done pretty well against lefty and righty hitters in this last 4 game stretch of his.
So what's the deal here? Polanco hurt again?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they still feel like he can't hit right-handed as well as left-handed.
He hit the right side the other day. Like, what is going on?
Maybe it's his scheduled day off.
They just had a day off. Like, why is Polanco not DHing? Why is Garver DHing? So is Polanco hurt again that they don't talk about? Like this whole batting from the right side, is he hurt? Not hurt? Like, what's the deal with?
Didn't he hit a homer not too long ago, right-handed?
Yes. So why is he not in the line? Why do we got to be stuck with Mitch Garver again?
Yeah, that lineup. I think we should throw some money on the under today. It's 9.5.
Ooh, no. I would take the over.
But it's Wrigley Field, wind blowing out. No, why? Just because of Wrigley Field?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of.
But look at the 2 pitchers today, though. Kirby.
Yeah, I get you, but it gets squirrely there.
I know it gets squirrely there, but I don't know. George Kirby, don't you think? What is Kirby going to give up 4 or more runs today?
I don't know. Maybe this red hot Mariners offense going to get after it.
Yeah, they've scored 1 run and they got shut out in one of the games and then 1 run in the other. Yeah, no, it's going to be like this the whole season. It's already been that way through 70 some games. So,
your former coworker who apparently still, I think, despises you, even though you've made great efforts.
Gee, which one?
Even though you've made great efforts to mend the friendship, Shannon Dreyer says, and I love Shannon. Does a great job covering the team, has for a lot of years, despite what you say about her. Solano.
You're such a dick, man. You are such a dick. All I did was spoof her in one story that I made $100 for. One story.
Hey,
Angie didn't have a problem with me spoofing her. Brad didn't have a problem. Ryan Roland Smith didn't have a problem. Aaron Goldsmith, no one had a problem. But Shannon had a problem with me spoofing her. And I've apologized in person, in emails. I still love Shannon Dreyer. I do. But I reached a point where I couldn't take it with Shannon anymore. And trust me, I would do the same thing if I'm in Shannon's shoes. I would sing the company praises all the time too to keep my job. But do you get fair reporting from Shannon Dreyer? Fair and objective reporting. You answer that question.
I'm going to read what she.
You're not going to answer that question because you're a wuss. Come on, answer that question.
She works for the team.
Okay, but she would say she doesn't work for the team. Now, keep in mind, I do love her, and I also realize that I would do the same thing she's doing. And I just think that she should have been a little more thick-skinned when I spoofed her a little bit in that story.
Then you tell me what you think of this.
Well, anyway,
I
shouldn't have gone off on that tangent.
She says Solano. Well, because you still have ill will towards her.
Because I have dick tendencies too.
Yeah, you're a bad friend. Solano's right-handed, which is needed at first base, and in a small sample, but in line with his history, is hitting 346 with an 875 OPS since May 24th. Why would you DFA him? Oh,
yeah, okay.
Because he's terrible?
Well, no, but he's hit better recently.
Okay, but
you keep thinking, you keep betting on the come. You keep betting on that, and you keep thinking that they're not going to roll a 7, and you're going to hit your numbers.
And I know May 24th sounds like a lot. You're like, oh my God, that's a long time. It's like 10 games. It's
because he doesn't play every day.
Yeah, it's 10 games. Here's the sample size that I want to look at. Okay, I'm going to give you a sample size. Okay, in 34 games, he's hitting 173 and slugging 200. Okay, that is Donovan Solano, not the Donovan Solano for the last 7 games.
Well,
they keep
looking at the majority of his career that's in the rearview mirror. But what is he now? 36, 37 or something?
37 years of age. He is done. Absolutely washed. And so's Garver. Washed. And
I love it. You know what I think of when you say that? And I tend to agree with you, but I also sit here and I'm thinking, watch Garver go 3 for 4 and Solano hit a home run today.
Well, of course.
And then I want you to replay what you just said.
I will.
On Monday.
I won't replay it.
And then at least you're a sports radio guy or a sports podcast guy that will own it. Like, you don't mind admitting when you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not wrong often, though. That's the thing.
God, we're wrong more often than we're right.
Of course we're wrong more. That's nothing wrong with it. But I just, it is just to see these guys. It's awful. And I talked to the scout today coming up at no. And I asked the scout about Tyler Locklear. And what was the quote on Locklear? Not a big fan.
Not a big fan?
Not a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they doesn't like him. Does not like him at all. And they probably don't like him. That's why he's not here. They know he's not any good. So,
I guess. You excited about Raley coming back? God, everybody talks about like it's
not really.
No, but everybody loves Luke Raley. I love Luke Raley. I like watching him. He's a fast guy for his size.
He's fun, but come on, it's let's not pretend like we're getting some all-star back. It's Luke Raley. I mean, what kind of season was Luke Raley putting together before he got it? He was hitting 206. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. He was hitting he was slugging 324. I mean, not like he was like 2 home runs. Like, oh my God, Luke Raley's
come on.
back.
Let's
pick the banner.
He had a tape measure shot in Tacoma the other night.
It's just, but it's a weird one because he's Dom Canzone. So why did they not just put Canzone back down? Oh no, River, yes. River, yes. What's River doing?
He's digging a hole in the yard.
Let him dig a hole. You know what River couldn't do?
He's digging a hole. Look at all this mayhem.
Well, let's see what happens when you have a brand new synthetic lawn by Synthetic Turf Northwest and syntheticturfnorthwest.com. See, your dogs can't dig a hole because it's impossible for them to dig a hole. Now, they can dig a hole in a natural lawn, and that's why you don't have a natural lawn anymore. And that's why, folks, if you're a dog owner, pet owner, Synthetic Turf Northwest is the lawn for you. Can't dig a hole.
Okay. All right. Could you make a case, though, that if you live in the Northwest, that there's a good chance you could have a lush green yard that's actual grass?
Not anymore. Not with the water bill, Jim. Can't do it. You just cannot do it. You can't turn your water on anymore. And this is what always begs the question to me about living here. How can our water be expensive? All it does is rain here. So how are, like, I understand in areas which it's hard, like Nevada, California, parts of Colorado, Arizona. Water should be expensive there, but that it's not. Here, it's expensive as hell. And I'm like, all I do for 9 months is look outside my window and go, oh, how about that? It's raining again.
Yeah, well, that and gas prices, I still don't understand that. I suppose, there's a reason with taxes that we have in Washington where we don't have them in Oregon. But I was in Columbia City the other day and I was down to fumes. And so I had to get gas. It was $4.99 a gallon for regular.
Yeah.
Regular.
By me,
and
it's
down here it's like $3.59.
By me, it's $5 by the 7-Eleven there on 24th, $5.15.
Yeah. No, somebody told me once though, like, I mean, $5 for a gallon of gas. When you think about it, if you get 30 miles a gallon, that's pretty good that you can go 30 miles on $5, but still, yeah. I go back to the day when I was growing up in Redmond, where the gas was 20. I mean, this is how old I've gotten now because I'm going to be 68 next week. 25 cents a gallon at the Maverick gas station in Redmond. Yeah,
the Maverick.
Yeah.
Good old times at the Maverick.
Right behind the Workshop Tavern. There was a little road that kind of went over to Redmond Way. Yeah. 25.9. Yeah. Those were the days. I'm telling you. I'm living in the past. Let's go. Go Cougs.
Can the Pacers do it? Can they help us out?
I hope for your sake. I do. I hope for your sake.
Because you don't care. You don't care.
And everyone that's following it. Complete honesty. I did not find out what happened in Game 6 last night until I was on the toilet this morning and I checked on my phone.
Okay. Wonderful.
That was how I found out. I love the Pacers though and what they're doing. And I don't know that much about them, but I just love their balance. I think that's great. I'm still a team guy that likes balance. And I like a team too that's kind of like, oh, you guys can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. They've done it 10 times in the postseason. I saw that little graphic on the bottom of ESPN when they were underdogs and they won the game outright. But
they do. They play a great team. There's a great fast break that they had yesterday where I can't remember who hit the corner three, where they got a rebound and old school basketball. They moved the ball all the way up the court. And the ball did not go on the floor. No dribble.
Oh, it just
bam.
It didn't hit the floor at all. Just pass.
Yeah, it was great. Oh, see, even the dogs liked it. Even the dogs liked it.
Yeah, that was Hank.
How long before you get rid of Hank?
It's another week, I guess. I don't know. Katie went to Arizona, I think, to visit her mom.
Yeah.
And
how's Kathy doing with Hank? It sounds like to me that Kathy's still sleeping in and all the dog duties are going to Jim.
No, I think I hear her voice finally. Or wait, somebody's here. Wait, I don't know who this guy is. Hey, sir, who are you?
What is going on over there?
What are you gonna? You're what? The hot tub. Oh, the hot tub cover.
Yeah.
They don't let you know.
Well, what's happening with the
What's going on?
Touch those.
Okay. All right. Well, thank
you. Yeah, sure.
Oops. All right. Oops.
You got your hot tub guy coming over. Is he cleaning the hot tub for you?
What happened? I lost you, Puck.
I have you. You have me?
No, I can't see you. You can see me still?
I can still see you. You're fine. You're good.
Okay. Then I won't mess with anything then.
Yeah, don't touch anything. What's the hot tub guy over there for?
Well, we had, one of those issues as a homeowner where the old hot tub cover got waterlogged and it was getting harder and harder to lift to get in there. And so we had to buy a new cover. And so there's an adjustment that this guy came in. I didn't know this guy was coming today. There's an adjustment he had to make to make it better, apparently.
What a great!
It's like a feather now. It's like a feather to lift it now.
What a great! We've had Garafolo, who's sitting at his shore house. You're back in your man shed, and then we've got the hot tub guy coming over. I mean, you guys are living large. I'm sitting inside here in a small office making peanuts. I need to be making the money that you guys are making.
You're not making peanuts.
Peanuts.
You exaggerate.
Peanuts. and I don't have a hot tub.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just disagree with you on the peanuts, because if you truly were making peanuts, the CEO would have told you, okay, that's it with the Puck Sports thing. I gave you a year. You're not going to do it anymore. You got to go find a real job. If you were making peanuts, that's what she would have said in March of 2025. And here we are in June of 2025. You must be making more than peanuts for her to keep going with what you're doing here with the Pucks Posse and Spotify and everything else you have going on here. Limback Lumber. Zogs on
Fox Island, Hartley and Hartley Insurance. Golly boy.
Now Hank's digging the hole that River started. Hank, stop it.
No, Hank, dig, Hank. Hey, Scotty Scheffler once again leading a golf tournament. That's great. And I put my money on Akshay Bhatia, and he's terrible, unbelievable.
Well, I finally stepped up and took Xander. I don't know how he's still a top 10 player, but I don't even think. Well, they don't have a cut this week, but he's over par right now today.
Just come on, man.
It's too hard. God, betting on golf is difficult, really hard. I need to find more suckers who want to make Milroe bets like you.
I know you do. I feel really. I just feel like I'm just going to give you the $50 now.
Okay, just Venmo it to me. Yeah. You know my Venmo address.
I sure do. Yeah. I sure do. There's been a lot of money going back and forth between us. All right. We'll let you go. Go deal with.
Okay. How many? Okay. Wait. Before you let me go. Sorry to interrupt you. How many hits in that feared trio today in Chicago of Garver, Solano, and Moore? How many hits? What's the over under on number of hits those three guys have?
A half.
One and a half?
No, just a half. Point 5.
And you'd take the under, wouldn't you?
I'm taking the under. I think none of them get a hit. 8 strikeouts.
8 strikeouts. Okay. I'm actually going to kind of hope for that to happen. I want to see you be right on that, just so we, have a little chuckle about it on Monday.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you on Monday. Love you, and enjoy your weekend.
Okay, Puck. You too. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Big thanks to Garafolo for a surprise visit. Was not on the show yesterday. Normally joins us on Thursdays. Bounced on a Friday. No Chris Egan today. He's traveling back from Edmonton to go watch he was watching his son play a little baseball. So he will be back with us next week. All right. We're getting close to wrapping up Friday's show, the Daily Puck Drop. Every Friday, we catch up with the scout, Major League Baseball scout. He's been in the game for 30-plus years. Also a college coach. We talk all things baseball, Mariners, the overall game. We touch a little bit on Rafael Devers this week. Also college baseball with the College World Series set between Coastal Carolina and LSU. He's got his thought on a couple of players there that are in that game, in that series. If you are a Mariners fan, and many of you are, and you love prospects, and I know a lot of people are just more in love sometimes with the prospects, you are going to thoroughly enjoy what he has to say, the scout, about Colt Emerson. You're going to love it. It's going to be tantalizing, and you're going to listen to it, and you're going to go, I want him up here right now. Here's the scout, 30-plus years covering Major League Baseball. He joins us every single Friday. Scout joins us every Friday as we get the real scoop on the Mariners and baseball from our anonymous baseball scout who currently works for a Major League Baseball team, has been covering the sport for the past 30 years. Always on the move, on the go. Hello, Scout.
How goes it, Puck?
It's good. It's great. Everything's going swimmingly. We got plenty to talk about. We'll do a little IMS stuff. I want to ask about Colt Emerson, the Rafael Devers trade, a historic scouting question for you, Scout, and then also some college baseball topics to cover with you on this fine Friday. Let me start first with Rafael Devers. You saw the return for a player like that from a scouting perspective. What did you and maybe others in the baseball world make of that deal?
Well, I think, if obviously you can't hide anything anymore. And, a while ago last year, like he did not want to move a position, right? I don't know, from an outsider, even not being a part of that organization, you felt like there was a little bit something with him. So, I kind of think where there's smoke, there's fire. That probably, my guess is probably could have got more out of last year. But, sometimes certain clubs, they don't, maybe San Francisco right now, a little bit different. They're ready now, right? Maybe Boston wants to, fill up that farm system more, so they got some minor leaguers. So I think on the surface, I mean, I think a lot of people would think it was a lopsided trade, one way or the other. But maybe, like I said, it was just good for both organizations. And sometimes, change is good, and it kind of seems like Boston was willing to do a lot just to get out of that contract, and maybe they just knew that maybe his time has kind of expired there.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like the time was over for everybody involved.
Yeah, and sometimes things, can change. Obviously, feelings can be mended and whatnot. But, I just kind of watching him from a distance last year, I think all really, really good players over-evaluate themselves a little bit. And I think last year he did not want to make a move and move off third base. And, the numbers and the metrics say he's not a great defender, obviously. So, but now it sounds like at San Francisco he's willing to maybe move around a little bit. So, like I said, maybe it'll just be good for both clubs. But like I said, on the surface, I'm quite sure some Boston fans are probably thinking, man, this is a little bit lopsided towards the Giants' direction.
You have much on just the two prospects, the James Tibbs and Jose Bello?
Don't have a lot. Obviously I saw some videos and things like that, but I don't know any, I don't know, I haven't seen them enough to really give an honest evaluation of my thoughts on it.
It's crazy just in terms of you just look at the player like Devers' capability, and you can just read information on those guys, and you're like, oh God, it just doesn't feel like they got enough for the type of player that Rafael Devers is.
I can see that, Puck. I think things a little bit differently, to be honest with you. Because I think what happens in major sports, especially baseball, I think football, I think in the NFL, I think football players get paid for what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think basketball players in the NBA get paid for what they're going to do. And to be honest with you, I think baseball guys get paid for players, for what they did in the past, right? What they've already done. So, San Francisco is going to be paying Devers, as he declines. Boston won't be paying him as declines. If you looked at it that way, I'm not saying he's going to, but I think, like I said, I struggle sometimes watching guys, sign these guys in their 30s to these huge long-term contracts, because when a guy's 39, 40 years old, 38 years old, he's not going to be the same player that he is at 30. So, like I said, I think it could be good for both sides.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the problem really with baseball. It's just that these guys don't get those contracts until they hit 30, right? It's just the way that the club control and how it's done that, those other leagues, at least when you're younger, you get paid faster and sooner.
Yeah. When I was a college coach, I got a player right now that, he's having an unbelievable season, the last couple seasons, but he spent 6 years in the minor league. So really this is just his kind of, third year up. So you're just making league minimum, which is good money for the average person. But
sure.
When you're making $1 million, the average person thinks, yeah, great. But then a guy like that's having a great season, he's looking at a setup guy that's making $9 million a year. So he's thinking, hey, what gives? So it's it doesn't always seem to be fair.
Who is the looking back over the years you've been in this scout? Who's the best player you ever scouted that ended up kind of living up to what you had on him and their capabilities?
I'd say maybe as a college coach, I wasn't scouting at that time, but college scout, recruiting and scouting, Puck, and for me are very, very similar. And a local guy, Timmy Lincecum, obviously was speaking of the Giants. Timmy, Timmy was small, but I just from the get go, you watch the ball come out of his hands. It didn't matter if you're 6'10" or you're 5'10". Like he was doing things with the baseball that you would have absolutely, you're like, it doesn't really matter who it is. And obviously 3 World Series and a couple Cy Young. So I think, I always just had the courage to evaluate him a little bit differently, where I didn't care how small he was. I just thought the arm, the stuff was electric. And obviously I can't, I guess I was right, because I knew he was going to be a great big leaguer. I couldn't tell you that he was going to win 2 Cy Youngs, but I thought he had a chance to be as good as anybody in baseball.
It's funny you bring up Tim Lincecum, because a couple of weeks ago, I do another show with two former KJR buddies, Steve Sandmeyer and Matt Stretch Johnson, and we somehow, I don't know how we got on to Tim Lincecum, but Steve used to be the voice of Husky baseball, and he went into this long story about watching Tim Lincecum pitch as a sophomore, and then leading up to the draft the following year when the Mariners, because I think we got on the subject because he took a lot of grief from a lot of people within the organization and baseball fans because he's like, why are they drafting Brandon Morrow? Like, they got a guy in their backyard that's better than Brandon Morrow. And he just went into this long, like, I've watched this guy pitch for the last 3 years. Like, there is no comparison between the two. But it goes back to kind of what you just said, right? Brandon Morrow, when he stepped off the bus, looked like a major league pitcher. And when Tim Lincecum stepped off the bus, he looked like the bat boy.
No question. You know, in the conference that year, the Pac-12, the second pick in the overall draft was a guy named Greg Reynolds from Stanford. The fifth pick was Morrow at Cal that the Mariners took. Lincecum went 10th. And the rest of the conference that year has 5 first rounders. But yeah, you have to have courage. He's an outlier. Timmy was an outlier where, you know, you can look at Brandon Morrow and say, oh, this guy looks like this guy, or this guy looks like this guy. Well, there was no body comp. There was no comparison with Tim Lincecum because there's nobody like him. And there's a reason why they called him the freak, right? To this day, there's a lot of guys that are trying to be like Tim, but I don't know. I mean, he's one of the biggest outliers ever in baseball. So you had to have courage. It was a little easier for the Giants because I'm slide to the 10th. I mean, you still have to have a ton of courage to take a guy that type size with the 10th pick, but it would have been even tougher for like the Mariners. I think they took Morrow at 5, and I think Reynolds was with the Rockies at 2. So there was no comparison between history and career. Tim had outpitched them all, but there's an old saying that I still think falls true is that little guys have to prove they can play and big guys have to prove that they can't play. And Morrow and Reynolds both proved that they couldn't, and Lincecum proved that he could.
Who was a guy, is there someone that comes to mind that you've scouted in the past that you thought, man, this is a surefire of a great player or very good player that there is. But then it just, for whatever reason, and this happens, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. There's lots of those guys. There's lots of those guys because you just, sometimes, the top players, they're usually the biggest and the strongest. They've never had, they've always been the best guy. And sometimes when they have to raise their level of play and they're playing against other guys that are as talented as them, it gets to be a little bit more difficult. I don't want to use any names because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it happens all the time. In the scouting world, you are wrong more often than you are right. I will tell you that. And I've been wrong tons of times. And, today when I go to the grocery store for my wife, I'm quite sure I'm going to be wrong again. So whether it's shopping or whether it's evaluating, I know I'm not 100%.
Yeah. Well, what about Colt Emerson? I know you probably had a chance to watch him up close and personal. Last 7 games, he's really put it together. 448, 543, 828 slash line. He's got 13 hits in those games, 2 home runs and 5 ribbies playing shortstop.
Puck. Love him. Absolutely love Colt Emerson. And forget the bat. The bat's coming along, and that's what's I would say behind in his game. He's a big-time defender. Like, he's a true shortstop. He's going to be one of those guys that can play that position just on the defensive end for a long time. I think he can play defense right now in the big leagues. Not an issue. He just got to continue to get bigger and stronger and become, a better offensive player. And he will. Like I said, I saw him last week in Everett. I thought he swung at the right pitches. I thought he was aggressive in the counts that he needed to be. But I will tell you, when it comes to defense, it's the most difficult position in the game to play is to play shortstop. And he's the best minor league shortstop that I've seen this year.
You think it's more difficult than catcher?
Yes, absolutely. Just because they never stop valuing, the big leagues never stop valuing play at shortstop. There's a lot of below average defenders catching now. And I'm not sure why that is. I've always thought it's a defensive position first, but it's really not always. It's kind of 50-50. Some people care more about the offense. I think you should care more about the defense, considering, you only got 4 at-bats a game, but you might be catching the ball 150 times. So you think that defense is more important, but it's never been questioned at shortstop. Nobody ever plays a below average defender at short because, they could run or hit. So, but no, he's special. He can make every play and he does it easy. Like I said, if you're a baseball guy and you love like baseball, not just offense. Because I love pitching and defense. Those are the types of games that I like watching. And because usually, you've got to pitch and play defense to win that last game. To be a champion, you've got to do that. And the Mariners definitely have a young player in Colt Emerson that can be as good as anybody in baseball on the defensive end.
What is it from a skill set, a physical standpoint, that he just does so well playing that position?
Well, the one thing he does, you got to have a really good internal clock playing short. He never rushes anything, right? He's always really under control, which is good, right? His hands are really soft. He's got an average to above average arm. But usually the separator in defense, can you play the ball in the 6-hole, which basically, can you play your backhand and do you have enough arm strength, and can you play on the run and throw from different angles? He can definitely do that. Like I said, he makes it look really, really easy in the 6-hole. He doesn't rush his throws, and he's accurate. So, like I said, I think one day he's which I guess I shouldn't jinx him and say he's a Gold Glove defender, because sometimes, I was reading something the other day. Harold Reynolds led the league in errors one year, and they gave him the Gold Glove. So there's a couple ways they vote in the MLB I don't understand, but I really think he's a Gold Glove defender.
You think from a defensive standpoint, from a glove standpoint, he could play right now in the bigs?
No question. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if, like we talked last week about Young, if Young was that type of defender, I would say this guy's going to be the rookie of the year very soon. Because I think Emerson's the better defender than Colt Young, and I think Young's the better hitter. But that's why the better. I think if the Mariners in the next couple of years, I think Colt Emerson will be, without trades and things like that. If you just said, hey, the Mariners you won't be getting rid of any of these players via trades, etc. I would say in 2027, I wouldn't be surprised if Colt Emerson and Colt Young are the start middle infield for the Seattle Mariners.
Why? We've talked about him in the past. Tyler Locklear. What's the holdup? I asked that. They've got a 37-year-old first baseman, Donovan Solano, and I know the last 5-6 games he's hit the ball a little bit better, but I mean he's still 37. Scouty's slugging 253. Why? What is it that Locklear isn't doing, or they're hesitant to bring him back up?
Yeah, I've got Locklear as a 4A type player. I mean, maybe with a chance to kind of be a reserve. I'm not a big Tyler Locklear fan. That's just the games that I've seen him. I think he's, gets it to first base only. There's not a lot of athleticism there. It's about, he has to hit the ball in the seats. If he can prove it every day at the AAA level that he's hitting the ball in the seats, he'll get a chance, but it can't be occasionally, right? He's got to be that guy that's down there hitting close to 40 home runs, because you're going to take some of those home runs off when you're playing in the big league. So I just don't think he is. I don't think Locklear is the first baseman of the future if the Seattle Mariners want to win a World Series.
You know what we've seen here recently with players in baseball. We got Cole Young. You look at Anthony in Boston, Caglione there in Kansas City. God, a lot of these young players, man, they're coming up, and maybe they take it on the chin for a week or so, but then they look. I don't know. You tell me, Scout. They look more polished than ever before.
Yeah, they are. The players right now, just their skill levels, it's just through the roof. And a lot of times guys too, like, I don't know about Caglione, but a lot of these guys, these great athletes, they're just playing baseball now, which helps, right? It helps their polish and whatnot. I don't necessarily think it would change, sometimes it'll hurt the athleticism, but they just play so much baseball, and there's so much analytic, so much data. Like I said, there's just, I don't know. They're. It's so funny, you always hear like, "Oh, they're not as good as they were in my day." No, they're better. These players are absolutely better than they used to be, because just the training is, like I said, the training is the coaching that they get, the technology that they have. There's no reason that these players shouldn't be as polished as they are. And then look at college baseball. Look at Caglione. He played at Florida. He played in the SEC. Went to Omaha, and those types of things. I mean, they're playing in front of 25,000 people, right? So they're already prepped. I mean, they're playing in the SEC, right? Has bigger games than any games these guys will play until they get to the big leagues. I mean, AAA ballparks wish they had some of the SEC environment. So the environment that these young college players are already being a part of, it's really prepping them for their big league career.
Yeah, you see it even down at the youth level. I look at it for 11 and 12-year-olds, and it's not just the physical skills that are just so way beyond what I remember at that age. It's the mental side of it. Understanding the game, like understanding situations that just back when I was a kid, that we just did not have the cerebral part of the game like these kids have nowadays.
No, it's unbelievable. In the off season, when I'm not traveling, I'll work with players, and I'll work with 11, 12-year-old guys they have a better feel for the game than I did when I was in college. They just understand more. They've been taught, like, as a player like myself that was a 3-sport guy in high school and went just to play college baseball. I didn't really know anything, right? I really, you see the ball, hit the ball, and you play hard and all those types of things, but just how advanced that they are right now and the things that they think about. And, I've got this young kid that I work with. He's sitting on breaking balls with the base so open. Like, I'm not just like, it's unbelievable how good they are, but, credit to them. And like I said, it's fun to watch.
Yeah. Hey, College World Series gets underway on Saturday, LSU, Coastal Carolina. I want to ask you about a couple of players on those two teams. I first want to revisit. Have you seen the highlights of the Arkansas LSU game and what happened with the outfielder?
Yeah, I have. I have friends. The head coach at Arkansas and the head coach at LSU are both friends. In my college days, I coached against both of them as well as the pitching coach at LSU. So I always had a vested interest in watching it. And your
heart breaks, Scout. Your heart breaks for the kid. I mean, it just and the images, and then the images of him afterwards. And I said this yesterday. I just was so, and I think a lot of teams would have done this. I was so impressed by his teammates. How they handled
wonderful.
him, but just hard to watch.
Oh yeah, and he was. I obviously only watched X amount of Arkansas games this year, but it sounds like he was the glue of that team. And and it's great to want to be a big leaguer, right? But a lot of these guys aren't going to play in the big leagues, right? So that was that potentially could be the biggest game that he ever played in, right? So. But yeah, your heart breaks for the young man. Your heart breaks for the team. Coach Van Horn, he's been there a lot with Arkansas. He's taken this team to Omaha quite a few times and just hasn't broke through. So definitely you feel for him too as well. But I think college athletics gets a bad rap nowadays because it should, because they are professional. They're paid to play, but at the end of the game, these guys are still young men, and your heart breaks for them.
Yeah, it just was. It was difficult to watch, and it just he. Probably makes that play 10 times out of 10. And just, unfortunately for him slipping. And it was just a tough watch, and his teammates certainly picked him up. LSU, they advance with that win. They'll take on Coastal Carolina. A couple of guys that I'm curious, I know you've seen. Coastal Carolina, they got a catcher, Caden Bodine, and then LSU's got a pitcher, Cade Anderson, a left-hander. Let me first start with Anderson, the LSU pitcher. What should we see this weekend when he gets on the mound?
Well, you'll see big-time polish, Buck. Like, it's fastball, changeup, big-time curveball, fastball up to 96. I think he's the most polished pitcher in college baseball. So, you Mariner fans, I don't know if he'll get to number 3. I mean, he's been linked, 1 through 5, right? Or actually, lately, seems like he's only been linked 1 through 3. It looks like he's pushed himself up there. But he's exactly what you're looking for. He's a guy that, once if he signs this year, he's got a lot of innings. So most likely whoever takes him, he probably doesn't pitch this year. So the following year, I bet you at minimum, he starts in Double-A, which could be a big league call-up by the time September. So he's ready-made and close to the big leagues.
What about the catcher from Coastal Carolina, Bodine?
Big-time defender. 1 error. I mean, one of the most amazing stats, I think he's had 1 error on the season, right? And just minimum pass balls. He's a really, really good defender. Leader. Coastal has done a great job, obviously, with their program. They've won a national championship in the past as a mid-major, and they keep really developing catchers. But he's got makeup, contact skills, a little bit short offensively when it comes to power. He's more of a contact guy, but he's without a doubt their leader. If you're a young baseball player and you want to watch what a leader does on a field, especially a college field, watch Bodine from Carolina, because he's everything you could ever want for as a coach.
There he is, the scout. Real scoop on the M's of baseball from our anonymous baseball scout who's been doing it and working in baseball for the past 30 years. Scout, appreciate it as always. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next Friday. There it is, the Scout every Friday with us here on the Daily Puck Drop. And again, pucksports.com, anonymous baseball scout who's been working in the game for 30-plus years. And I told you would love what you heard about Colt Emerson. Love him. Best shortstop he has seen in the minors. And if they brought him up now, his glove, his defense would automatically play right away there for the Mariners in the big league uniform. All right, so the over, what did we set the over-under on real quick before we get to, hey, what the puck? 0.5. 0.5, how many hits today? The combo of Solano, Garver, and Morgan. I said 8 strikeouts, too. And Jim's right, 100, and we'll save the tape. One of those guys, or both of them, or three of them, they're all going to have great games today. Just guarantee it. They're going to have great games today. Big thanks to everybody that joined us today. Garafolo with his surprise little visit. We talked a little bit of NFL there with Garafolo, normally with us on Thursdays. Again, Egan will be back next week. He took some time off to go watch his son pitch up there in Edmonton. And then, of course, the scout who joins us every single Friday. Again, catch all of it on the podcast later. Everything goes up on YouTube right around noon. And then just search Puck Sports. And then on the audio versions, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And there's so much content we've done this week. Ryan Divish, for you Puck's Posse members, Ryan Divish, that episode is up. This week's Sports Pit is up as well. Check that out if you haven't caught it yet. Also, Thursday's editions with Mitch Unfiltered. Another episode of KJ Arntz is available. So a lot to get caught up on. All the free content that we put up every single day, weekly. But in addition, the bonus material, again, like Ryan Divish, Sports Pit with Sandy and Stretch, and KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy. All right, hey, what the puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when these damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Thank you, the great state of Indiana. Thank you to all the past Pacer players. Detlef Schrempf, Derek McKee, Mark Jackson, Rick Smits, Chuck Person, Reggie Miller, all the greats who've ever put on a uniform there. You have an entire city and state and region on your side. Now, please, one more for our city, one more for our fan base, one more for the Sonics. We need you guys desperately. Don't let them celebrate Sunday. Do everything you can. I didn't believe in you. Use me and others as motivation. Thought you'd get creamed in Game 6, but you did not. You've got an entire community. You have an entire region behind you, a fan base that is yearning for the return of their favorite team and hoping desperately that that team does not win an NBA championship. What do you want if you win? We'll give you anything. Name it. You want our traffic? We'll give you our traffic. You name what you want, and we'll deliver it to you. We'll make it happen. One more game, Indiana. We'll send you anything you want. One more game to put that team out, because we cannot see them celebrate Sunday night. Thank you for Game 6. Get it done in Game 7. That's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage. Again, with their property restoration services, they're local, and they do great business. They're going to take care of you. Make them your first call. Give them a ring at 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. Tell them I sent you. Big thanks to everybody watching and listening today. Thank you to all our sponsors, as always. We could not do it. I could not do this without your support, sponsors, and then also the support of you guys. So Limback Lumber, thank you. Clean Streak, Georgetown Brewery. Check out their new tavern beer, georgetownbeer.com. And thank you to Restoration One. Today is a daily puck drop. Find it on YouTube, where everything goes right after the show. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment. Hit the like button. It all helps. Also, find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms and at pucksports.com. When you're at pucksports.com, you can sign up to become a member of the Pucks Posse. Again, just $5 a month. You support all the free content we do daily. In addition, get bonus shows for you, just for you. Our baseball coverage with our insider, Ryan Divish. Go check out his Twitter handle, at Ryan Divish. He's got a video. He's like a social media influencer now. He's got a video of their team bus driving through the great state of Montana, the Havre North Stars, as they go to a little town to play 5 games in 7 days. He's got the music accompanying it. It's just beautiful work. I mean, he's like an Instagram star now. Also, the Sports Pit. New episodes come out every Monday with Steve Sandmeyer, Matt Stretch Johnson, and Thursdays with Mitchie the Kid, Mitch Unfiltered. He appears on the live show, but then once the live show is over, his episodes are just for Puck's Posse members. And, of course, check out the new Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast. That's available every Monday for everyone, but now Puck Sports produces that for Mr. Dave Grosby and Mike Gastineau. Check it out everywhere where you find your podcast and on YouTube. Big thanks to everyone. Another week in the books. Thank you to all. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Please go Pacers. Love everyone. See you guys later. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!